Hello, Lovelace. It's time for our first virtual English lesson together. I'm just going to open up my screen share so you can see today's lesson, and you can see that it is all about prediction, to make predictions from details that have been stated or implied. Now, for those of you who are not sure, a prediction is what you think might happen next. So we don't know yet, but we're going to use the information we've been given so far to make an educated guess as to what might happen next in the story. Okay? So here's an image for you. I'd like you to quickly write down your ideas. What kind of monster you think this is? You can see him just beneath the water. So what do you think? Okay. Pause the video if you want to take a moment, but I'm going to keep moving on. What do you think the boy is trying to catch? Okay, you can see the rod in his hand and you can see the fishing line. So what do you think he's trying to catch? Again, take a moment to jot it down and pause the video if you're not ready to move on. And what is the monster going to do next? Have a think. What do you predict the monster might do next? Right. Here are some STEM sentences just to help you structure your answers. So I predict that. So in the case of the boy, maybe I predict that the boy might be fishing for fish because his rod is very thin. Okay. So have a think about how you can complete those sentences. I think the monster will definitely pull the boy into the water since he isn't paying attention. Or it's quite likely that the boy will fall in due to his line being caught in the monster's mouth. However, it's also possible that the monster could be really, really friendly because he has a smile on his face. It's entirely up to you. Use the information. Use the information in the picture. Use your imagination. How could you complete those sentences? Here's one for you. Again, it's a picture. Have a look at what's going on in that picture and see if you can complete those little STEM sentences. So I predict that might because. So in that first one, who are we talking about? I predict that the boy. So you think about your noun. Who's the subject of your sentence? I predict that the boy might. Then think about his actions. What might he do? And then because. Give me a reason. So I predict that the boy might put the rock up the ogre's nose because he has a cheeky grin on his face. That might not be true at all, but that's my prediction. Have a go yourself using the 3 different sentences. Okay, now here's the blurb from the Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. Now, hopefully we all know what a blurb is. It's that bit on the back of a book that's always really good to read before you choose a book because it gives you some clues. It gives you some ideas about what the book might be about. And it'll help you decide if it might be the sort of book you're going to enjoy. Okay, so here's the blurb for the Graveyard Book. Nobody Owens, known to his friends as Bod, is a normal boy. He would be completely normal if he didn't live in a graveyard, being raised by ghosts. There are dangers and adventures for Bod in the graveyard, but it's in the land of the living that real dangers lurk, for it is there that the man Jack lives, and he really has already killed Bod's family. So just from that blurb, you should be asking yourselves little questions. And you should be putting together in your mind a little picture of what the book might be about. Some of the questions you might ask yourself are, I wonder who Nobody Owens, aka Bod, is. AKA is also known as. Okay, so I wonder who Nobody Owens, also known as Bod, is. I predict he isn't a normal boy because his name is very strange. I wonder why he lives in a graveyard. I wonder if the ghosts are his parents. And if so, does that mean Bod is a ghost? I predict this might be a horror story because there are graveyards and ghosts which are scary. Dangers and adventures. These words make me feel like it might be an exciting book to read. I wonder who Jack is. I wonder why he killed Bod's family. Okay, so based on what you have read so far, what does the blurb suggest the book might be about? Use evidence from this text to support your answer. Now, if I was looking at that blurb, I might respond something like this. I predict that the graveyard book might be about Bod trying to find his parents' killer, because the book has dangers and adventures, which means it might be like a detective novel. Okay, so anytime you read a blurb, you should be asking yourselves questions just like this, trying to predict what might happen next, what might be happening in the story. And is it the type of story you're going to enjoy? Here's one for you. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be looking at the story of Beowulf. Now, Beowulf originally was a poem, but it's been converted, it's been translated into so many different books and stories. It's a fabulous, fabulous adventure. So here's the blurb to Michael Morpurgo's version of Beowulf. Hear and listen well, and I will tell you a tale that has been told for 1,000 years and more. It may be an old story, yet it troubles and terrifies us now as much as it ever did. For we still fear the evil that stalks out there in the darkness and beyond. We know that each of us in our time, in our own way, must confront our fears and grapple with this monster of the night who, given a chance, would invade our homes and even our hearts if he could. Now, your task for today, what I would like you to do, is to predict what the story might be about. So from reading the blurb of Beowulf, I predict that the story ... Use those sentence structures to help you answer what you think the story of Beowulf might be about. And at the bottom of the screen there are 3 of the characters from Beowulf. And again, just from looking at the pictures, I would like you to make a prediction as to what those characters might be like. Who are they? What do you think their role in the story is? Okay, so on the left, we've got King Hrothgar, we've got Beowulf in the middle, and then we've got Grendel on the right side. Okay, keep it neat, keep it clear, and during our live lesson on Wednesday, we'll have a talk about some of the predictions that you've made. Okay, try your best, and I will see you very soon. Take care.